Picture this. You've been working out for 2 years. You've built your business to 6 figures. You drive a nice car and you dress well. On paper, you're everything that dating coaches tell you women want. But when you interact with women, something feels off. They're polite but not passionate. They'll go on dates but won't chase you. You feel like you're always the one putting in effort while they remain emotionally distant. Meanwhile, you watch your friend who lives in a studio apartment, drives an old car, and has no impressive credentials on paper. Yet women become absolutely obsessed with him. They text him constantly. They pursue him aggressively, and they'll do anything to keep his attention. You can't understand what he has that you don't. What if he told you that everything you've been taught about female attraction is not just wrong, but completely backwards? What if I told you that the very things you think make you attractive are actually killing women's desire for you? And what if I told you that the secreto making women addicted to you has nothing to do with your achievements and everything to do with your internal state? Today, I'm going to reveal the hidden psychology behind female addiction and obsession. I'm going to show you exactly how women fall into deep consuming desire for certain men while remaining completely indifferent to others who seem objectively better. But I need to warn you. What you're about to learn will shatter everything you believe about attraction, success, and your own self-worth. This isn't just dating advice. This is a complete paradigm shift that will change how you see yourself and how you interact with the world. Pay close attention because once you understand these principles, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Before we dive into how women get addicted, we need to destroy the biggest lie that's been sold to men about attraction. Society has convinced you that female desire works like a checklist. That if you accumulate enough value, status, and achievements, women will automatically become attracted to you. This is the blueprint they've sold you. Get in shape, make money, develop social skills, learn game, demonstrate your worth, and women will fall in love with you. They've told you that attraction is about chemistry, compatibility, and proving your value through external accomplishments. Women who believe this spend years building themselves up externally while remaining completely unattractive to women. They become frustrated, bitter, and confused because they're following a road map that leads nowhere. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Women don't fall in love with your achievements. They fall in love with your internal state. They don't get addicted to what you have. They get addicted to who you are when nobody's watching. The most attractive quality a man can possess has nothing to do with his bank account, his physique, or his social status. It's something far more rare and powerful. And it's something that most men will never develop because they're too busy chasing external validation. Let me introduce you to the concept that will revolutionize your understanding of attraction. Sexual market value discrepancy. This is the hidden mechanism behind every case of female obsession and addiction. Women only develop deep consuming attraction when they perceive a man's sexual market value as significantly higher than their own. But here's where everyone gets it wrong. Sexual market value isn't determined by objective measurements like income or looks. It's determined by perception. And perception is controlled by your internal state. Let me give you an example that will illustrate this perfectly. Imagine you're at a bar with 10 people, 4 men and 6 women. One of the men is a multi-millionaire with a private jet, perfect physique, and designer clothes. Another man is broke, drives an old car and wears basic clothes. But when someone makes a comment, the broke guy delivers a perfectly timed, witty response without trying to be funny. He says it with complete confidence and authenticity. In that moment, every woman in the group will feel more attraction toward him than the millionaire because he just demonstrated higher sexual market value through his internal state. This is what most men don't understand. Sexual market value is about energy, not inventory. It's about how you carry yourself, not what you carry in your wallet. A man with internal confidence and authenticity will always outrank a man with external achievements who lacks those qualities. Women operate on what I call the frame of value system. This is how they categorize and rank men in their minds, and it has nothing to do with your resume or your achievements. When a woman meets you, she's not calculating your net worth or counting your muscles. She's reading your energy signature. She's asking herself unconscious questions. Does this man know his own worth? Is he seeking my approval? Does she need me to validate him? Is he comfortable in his own skin? Within seconds, she's placed you in one of two categories, above me or below me. If she perceives you as above her, she'll begin the process of becoming addicted to you. If she perceives you as below her, she'll lose interest no matter how impressive your credentials are. The cruel irony is that the men who try hardest to impress women automatically place themselves in the below me category. When you're working to prove your worth, you're communicating that you don't believe you have inherent value. This is the kiss of death for attraction. Meanwhile, the man who doesn't try to impress anyone, who's comfortable with himself, and who doesn't need external validation, automatically signals higher value. He's placed in the above me category and her addiction begins. One of the most powerful triggers for female addiction is pre-selection, the perception that other women desire you. But most men completely misunderstand how pre-selection works. They think pre-selection means flirting with other women in front of their target or bragging about their dating success. This is amateur hour thinking that actually backfires because it shows you're trying too hard to demonstrate value. Real pre-selection is subtle and authentic. It's the energy of a man who's options, but isn't desperate to exercise them. It's the confidence that comes from knowing you're desired, not from trying to prove you're desired. When a woman senses that other women find you attractive, she doesn't just become competitive, she becomes curious. She starts wondering what those other women see in you. This curiosity is the first stage of addiction. But here's the key. You can't fake pre-selection. Women have evolved to detect authenticity at a subconscious level. If you're pretending to have options while secretly being desperate for her attention, she'll sense the incongruence and lose interest. This brings us to one of the most important concepts in understanding female psychology: the difference between internal and external value. Most men spend their entire lives building external value. Money, status, achievements, physical improvements, while completely neglecting their internal state. They think that if they just accumulate enough external markers of success, they'll automatically become confident and attractive. But here's what actually happens. You can give a man $5 million, perfect abs, celebrity status, and model-level looks, and if his internal state is still insecure and needy, he'll remain unattractive to women. Meanwhile, a man with average external circumstances, but bulletproof internal confidence, will have women fighting over him. Why? Because women are attracted to energy, not assets. They fall in love with how you make them feel, not what you can buy them. When your confidence comes from external achievements, it's fragile and conditional. But when your confidence comes from genuine self-acceptance and internal peace, it's magnetic and unshakable. The men who understand this truth stop chasing external validation and start developing internal strength. They become outcome independent, self-validated and genuinely confident. These are the men that women become addicted to. Nothing kills female attraction faster than a man seeking validation. When you need her approval, her compliments, or her attention to feel good about yourself, you've entered what I call the validation death spiral. This is why so many men who seem successful on paper struggle with women. They've built their entire identity around external achievements, but they still need others to validate those achievements to feel worthy. They're like successful beggars. They have a lotto offer, but they're still begging for approval. Women can sense this neediness immediately. When you're seeking validation, you're communicating that you don't believe in your own worth. And if you don't believe in your own worth, why should she? The men who create female addiction operate from the opposite mindset. They're self-validated. They know their worth without needing anyone else to confirm it. They can receive compliments without becoming attached to them, and they can receive criticism without being destroyed by it. This self-validation is incredibly attractive because it's so rare. Most people are desperately seeking approval from others. So when you encounter someone who doesn't need your approval, it immediately elevates their status in your mind. One of the most attractive qualities a man can develop is the ability to be fully present in the moment. This sounds simple, but it's actually incredibly rare and powerful. Most men are either living in the past, regrets, failures, comparisons, or the future, goals, plans, what-ifs. They're never truly present with the woman they're talking to because their minds are racing with strategies, techniques, and outcomes. But when you can be fully present, truly listening, genuinely engaged, completely comfortable with silence, you create a magnetic field that draws women in. They feel seen, heard, and valued in a way that most men can't provide. This presence also communicates confidence and self-assurance. A man who can be still and present isn't anxious about the future or haunted by the past. He's comfortable with himself and his current circumstances, which is incredibly attractive. Here's a mind-bending truth that will change everything. Most of your goals, desires, and insecurities aren't actually yours. They've been programmed into you by society, media, and social conditioning. Think about it. Why do you want a six-pack? Why do you want an expensive car? Why do you want to make a certain amount of money? If you're honest, it's probably because you've been told these things will make you attractive, successful, or worthy. But what if you started with a clean slate? What if you ignored everything society told you to want and asked yourself what you actually desire? Most men have never done this exercise because they're too busy chasing goals that aren't even their own. The men who treat female addiction have broken free from this constructed reality. They live according to their own values, pursue their own interests, and define success in their own terms. This authenticity is magnetic because it's so rare in a world full of programmed people. Most men think they want external achievements when what they really want is confidence. They think they want abs when what they really want is the confidence they believe abs will give them. They think they want money when what they really want is the confidence they believe money will provide. But there's the problem. External achievements don't create genuine confidence. They create conditional confidence that disappears the moment those achievements are threatened. Real confidence comes from self-acceptance, not self-improvement. It comes from being okay with who you are right now, not from becoming someone different. This is why some of the most successful men are still insecure, while some ordinary men have unshakable confidence. When you try to build confidence through external achievements, you're essentially telling yourself that you're not good enough as you are. This message gets internalized and actually makes you less confident, not more. Here's a controversial truth that most men don't want to hear. When sex becomes your primary goal with women, you give them all the power. Think about it logically. If your happiness, self-worth, and satisfaction depend on whether a woman sleeps with you, you've made her the gatekeeper of your emotional state. She controls whether you feel good or bad about yourself. Women can sense this desperation immediately. When they know that sex is what you're really after, they understand that they have leverage over you. They can use the promise of sex to manipulate your behavior, and they can withdraw it to punish you. But when sex isn't your primary focus, when you're genuinely interested in connection, conversation, and enjoying the moment, you maintain your power. You're not dependent on her for validation or satisfaction, which paradoxically makes her more likely to pursue you sexually. This brings us to one of the most counterintuitive principles of attraction. Sometimes the most attractive thing you can do is say no to sex. When you can turn down sexual opportunities because you're not in the right headspace, because you want to build more connection first, or simply because you don't feel like it. You demonstrate a level of abundance and self-control that most men lack. This behavior sends several powerful messages. You have options. You're not desperate. You value more than just physical pleasure. And you can't be easily manipulated. All of these qualities are incredibly attractive to women. Most men are so starved for male attention that they'll accept any sexual opportunity, regardless of the circumstances. But the men who create female addiction understand that sometimes rejection is more powerful than acceptance. At the heart of male attractiveness is Stoicism, the ability to remain calm, centered, and unaffected by external circumstances. This doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being emotionally stable and grounded. When you can maintain your internal state regardless of how she treats you, what she says, or how she tests you, you demonstrate the kind of strength that women find irresistible. You become like a rock in a storm, solid, reliable, and unshakable. This stoicism also allows you to be truly present with her. When you're not worried about outcomes, seeking validation, or trying to impress her, you can simply enjoy her company for what it is. This authentic connection is what creates deep attraction and addiction. Understanding how women experience attraction differently from men is crucial to creating addiction. Men are primarily visual creatures. We're attracted to what we see. But women are primarily emotional creatures. They're attracted to how they feel. This is why women can become obsessed with men who aren't particularly handsome, while remaining indifferent to very attractive men who don't make them feel anything. It's why they read romance novels and get aroused by words and emotions rather than just visual imagery. When you understand that women fall in love through their emotions, you stop focusing on how you look and start focusing on how you make them feel. You realize that your personality, your energy, and your presence are far more important than your physical appearance. Grounded men are magnetic to women because groundedness is so rare in modern society. Most men are anxious, reactive, and constantly seeking something outside themselves to feel complete. But when you're grounded, truly comfortable with yourself, your life, and your circumstances, you become like a magnet. People are drawn to your stability and peace. Women especially are attracted to this energy because it makes them feel safe and secure. Groundedness also prevents you from falling into the common traps that kill attraction. Neediness, validation-seeking, outcome dependence, and emotional reactivity. When you're grounded, you maintain your center regardless of what's happening around you. The ultimate secret to creating female addiction is developing genuine internal peace. This means being completely okay with who you are, where you are, and what you have right now. This doesn't mean you stop growing or improving. It means you improve from a place of self-love rather than self-rejection. You work on yourself because you want to, not because you think you need to in order to be worthy of love. When you achieve this internal peace, several things happen. You stop seeking validation from others. You become naturally confident and authentic. You're comfortable with silence and solitude. You don't need anyone else to complete you. You can give love without needing it returned. This energy is intoxicating to women because it's so rare. Most people are walking around with internal wounds, insecurities, and neededness. When you encounter someone who has truly healed and found peace with themselves, it's magnetic. Women get addicted to men who can create authentic connection. This isn't about having things in common or sharing interests. It's about being able to meet her in the moment, truly see her, and connect with her essence. This requires presence, empathy, and emotional intelligence. You need to be able to read her energy, understand her emotions, and respond authentically rather than strategically. Most men are so focused on technique, tactics, and outcomes that they never learn to truly connect. They're having conversations while thinking about their next move rather than being present with what's happening right now. The deepest form of attraction occurs when masculine and feminine energies come together in perfect polarity. This has nothing to do with gender roles or traditional relationships. It's about energy dynamics. Masculine energy is characterized by presence, direction, strength, and groundedness. Feminine energy is characterized by flow, emotion, intuition, and receptivity. When these energies meet in balance, they create magnetic attraction. Most modern men have lost touch with their masculine energy. They've become reactive, emotional, and validation-seeking, traditionally feminine traits. Meanwhile, many women have had to develop masculine traits to succeed in the modern world. When a woman encounters a man who is truly grounded in his masculine energy, she can relax into her feminine energy. This creates the polarity that generates deep attraction and addiction. Perhaps the most powerful trait you can develop is non-reactivity. This means maintaining your emotional state regardless of what she says or does. You don't get upset when she tests you, excited when she compliments you, or anxious when she's distant. This non-reactivity demonstrates several attractive qualities: emotional stability and maturity, confidence in your own worth, abundance mentality. You're not desperate for her approval, leadership potential. You can handle pressure, mystery. She can't easily manipulate or predict you. When you're non-reactive, you force her to work harder to get emotional responses from you. This creates investment on her part, and investment leads to attachment. Now that you understand the psychology behind female addiction, how do you implement these concepts in your own life? Audit your motivations. Look at everything you're currently pursuing and ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for others' approval? Be brutally honest. If you're working out to impress women, making money to gain status, or developing skills to prove your worth, you're in the validation trap. Develop internal validation. Start deriving your self-worth from internal sources rather than external achievements. Practice self-acceptance, self-compassion, and self-love. Learn to validate yourself so you don't need others to do it for you. Cultivate presence. Practice being fully present in your interactions. Put away your phone, stop planning your next move, and just be with whoever you're talking to. This simple shift will dramatically improve the quality of your connections. Embrace authenticity. Stop trying to be what you think women want and start being who you actually are. This requires courage because you risk rejection, but it's the only way to create genuine attraction. Develop stoicism. Work on your emotional regulation. Practice remaining calm, under pressure, unaffected by criticism, and centered regardless of circumstances. This is the foundation of masculine attractiveness. Create internal peace. Do the inner work necessary to heal your wounds, resolve your insecurities, and find peace with yourself. This might involve therapy, meditation, spiritual practice, or personal development work. Understanding how women get addicted isn't just about dating success. It's about becoming the kind of man who attracts quality people and relationships into his life. When you embody these principles, you'll notice that not just women, but everyone starts treating you with more respect and interest. This is because these qualities, authenticity, presence, groundedness, non-reactivity, internal peace, are universally attractive. They make you a better leader, friend, colleague, and human being. Before we conclude, I need to give you a serious warning. Do not use this knowledge to manipulate or harm women. The principles I've shared are powerful, and with power comes responsibility. Use this understanding to become a better man, not to exploit vulnerable people. The goal is to create genuine connection and mutual attraction, not to manipulate others for selfish gain. Remember that women are human beings with their own desires, fears, and vulnerabilities. Treat them with respect and compassion, even as you apply these psychological principles. The ultimate secret to creating female addiction is this: become so comfortable with yourself that you don't need anyone else to complete you. When you're truly self-sufficient emotionally, when you're genuinely at peace with who you are, when you're living authentically according to your own values, you become magnetic. This isn't about tricks, techniques, or manipulation. It's about fundamental transformation from the inside out. It's about becoming the kind of man that you would respect and admire. The journey isn't easy, but it's worth it. When you do this work, you don't just become more attractive to women, you become more attractive to yourself. You start living a life that you're genuinely excited about, with or without romantic success. And ironically, it's when you reach this point, when you're truly complete within yourself, that women will start becoming addicted to you, because you'll possess the rarest quality in the modern world. A man who knows his worth and doesn't need anyone else to validate it. This is the secret that the dating industry doesn't want you to know because it can't be packaged into a simple course or technique. It requires real work, real growth, and real transformation. But for the men who are willing to do this work, the rewards are extraordinary. You'll not only attract the women you desire, you'll become the man you've always wanted to be.